Welcome back. We're here to preview Saturday's North London derby in the Premier League between Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal. Pascal, start with the away side, thumping win against Villa last time out.
Yeah, it was a decent win. Obviously, Villa went there, terrible run of form. They've got now 6 games without scoring a goal, I think, so they are terribly out of form. But Arsenal, they played pretty well in that game. I think 5-0 sort of flattened them a bit, but they got off to a good start. Obviously, Giroud with that nice finish in the first 10 minutes, and they, at half time it was still 1-0, so they weren't, out of sight by then. But in the second half, they pulled away. Obviously, Ozil getting a goal as well. He's playing quite well since his return, and Cazorla, Walcott also getting on the score sheet, and Bellerin, great goal from him, goal of the game, lovely side foot finish. And he's looking really good at right back, which is great for them, obviously, with Debuchy being out for a long time. So, things are looking good for them. I think that's 12 wins in their last 15 games now in all competitions. So they are looking strong. Obviously, just 1 goal behind Southampton in the race of the top 4 and just a point behind Man U in third. So, things are looking good for Arsenal at the moment.
Definitely. You mentioned, obviously, the only goal behind them. They haven't conceded in their last 3 games, won their last 5 in all competitions. You mentioned about 12 and 15, which is obviously a great run of form. I think getting those players back is important, isn't it? Because Sanchez is still out, I think, and Welbeck and Arteta, people like that, but Wilshere as well, obviously. But they've got a lot of players coming back, haven't they? And say they're right in the mix for the top 4. They've had their problems this season. I think there was Wenger out campaign, wasn't it, beginning of the season, but they're playing some good stuff at the moment, and they are certainly in that race, isn't there? If Southampton drop out, which we think they will do, certainly in that race along with Tottenham and Liverpool, and this is obviously a vital game for the fans and the club.
Certainly, it's a massive game in that top 4 race. Obviously, Spurs, they come into a decent form themselves. 3-0 win over West Brom last week. I think that's the first defeat under Pulis that West Brom have suffered. So it was impressive to go there and get that win. The early goal from Christian Eriksen, the free kick, good hit from him again. He's scoring so many goals, isn't he? Top scoring midfielder in the league now, I think. And obviously Kane getting the other 2. He's just done so well. I think the first goal was so impressive for me because he scored a similar sort of goal in the win over Chelsea when they beat Chelsea at White Hart Lane, the way he cut inside onto his right foot, and he curled that one into the far corner, but this one he just smashed home at the near post. So he's got variation in his finishing. He's looking really good for me, and I saw some people talking about him and Sturridge maybe for England, and I think that really is a possibility the way Kane is playing, because it's not sort of a flash in the pan. It wasn't sort of 3 or 4 games. He's done it for a good few months now, and he has really been impressing me.
He signed his new deal, wasn't he? So to the club till 2020, which obviously means if he is going to go, there's going to be big money. A lot of clubs probably looking at him, but there's no reason to leave Spurs in a minute, is there? Like you said, they're in great form. I think they've only lost 1 of their last 9 in the league, so they're bagging the form as well. There's been a lot of late goals. When you mention Eriksen, he seems to score in the 88th minute every week, doesn't he? I mean, but it's a tough run of form for them. I think they go to Liverpool on Tuesday, so obviously they've got Arsenal at home, then Liverpool. If they lose both those games, they're in it now, but they could quite easily be out of it. If it's that close, we expect United to be probably 3rd or in the top 4 at least, so there's 1 spot open, and Spurs have to win. Have to win this game, but it's probably a must not lose rather than win.
Definitely, I think neither of these clubs, there's not too much change at either club. Neither of them was that busy in January. Obviously, Arsenal, they signed Gabriel, but Spurs, they brought in Dele Alli, and I think, he's just, he's been really good for MK Dons in League One recently, and I think obviously he's been loaned back to MK Dons, not quite ready for the Premier League yet, but investing in young, homegrown talent like that, I think it is a good move for Spurs, and I think both clubs, they seem quite settled. There's been no big movement, so I think both would be pretty confident going into this game. I think it's a really tough one to call.
It should be really good. I think Arsenal only won 1 of their last 6 at Spurs. I mean, there's been games in the past, and there are a lot of good games between these two. Just score prediction for this one.
I think it really is a tough one to call. Like I said, both clubs should be really confident. They're both playing well at the moment, both scoring a lot of goals as well. So I think there will be goals in this one. I think I'm going to have to go for a draw, sorry. So 2-2.
2-2, I'm actually going to agree as well. I think there will be goals. I was leaning to is 1-1, but there's always goals between these two, isn't there? So I'm going to go 2-2 as well. So both going for 2-2 draws in North London derby. Thanks for joining us.